TNT Sports presents the 26th running of the Budweiser Shootout, live from Daytona. Tonight, 19 drivers back in the seat under race conditions for the first time in nearly 3 months. A night when it's hard to tell who is more excited, the competitors or the fans. Now it's my pleasure to send it upstairs to 3 guys who are really excited because they just found out they saved a bunch of money on their car insurance. No, just kidding. They're excited because they call the Budweiser Shootout tonight and the Daytona 500 next Sunday. For the 4th straight year, a pleasure to throw it up to Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, and Benny Parsons.
Bill, thank you. You know, it's an easy line for any race under the lights at night. I thought it was an easy line to say the atmosphere is electric here, but I'm telling you, the fans, BP, the drivers, even the broadcasters, we're all charged up.
I mean, I'm so excited. I haven't seen a good live stock car race for over 2 months now. Can't wait to see the green flag drop and this 2004 season get underway. Walking through the garage area, all the crewmen, they're so excited about, let's get this thing going. We're tired of working on race cars. Let's see them race. But Wally, tonight, a lot of pressure on these crews when the cars make that pit stop.
Yeah, as usual, you can win or lose this thing on pit lane, but especially tonight. Not only for the crews have to be right on. They got one shot at getting it right. They can't make any mistakes, but the drivers can't screw up either. They've got to get on pit lane and off pit lane. The transmissions are a weak spot, especially on these restrictor plate races, so everybody's got to hit it just right.
So big drama over the final pit stop. Tony Stewart, Dale Jr. starting at the back of the pack. Should be a lot of fun. The Budweiser Shootout at Daytona gets underway in just a few minutes. The Budweiser Shootout at Daytona, the dash for cash among last season's fastest drivers, gets underway shortly here at the World Center of Racing. Let's go trackside for tonight's opening ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Embry-Riddle ROTC Joint Color Guard present tonight's colors. And now, please welcome Reverend Hal Marshman as he delivers tonight's invocation.
Almighty God and Father of all mankind, we thank you for this wonderful spot with all of the people gathered here, and we invoke your blessings upon all who are involved. And we pray that you will help us to be better citizens and better people. Shalom and amen.
Please remain standing and welcome pop music recording artist Mila as she sings our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Kerry Drimonis for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Sound hearing those racing engines running again. The start of the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona in the 2004 NASCAR season is next on TNT. The Budweiser Shootout on TNT, brought to you by the new 4 for All Pizza. Everyone gets the toppings they want, and it's only at Pizza Hut. Dodge, you can take life as it comes or grab life by the horns. Dodge. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best. And new Prilosec OTC, making 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn possible. TNT Sports live at Daytona International Speedway to get things started with Speed Weeks 2004. It's the Budweiser Shootout. 19 drivers looking for a big piece of $1 million purse. Let's let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Mayfield. I got my Bud Pole last year at Talladega.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon. I've been in 10 Budweiser Shootouts, and I've won 2.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, and this is my first Budweiser Shootout.
Hi, I'm Dave Blaney. I won my first career Bud Pole at Rockingham in the spring of '03.
I'm Kevin Harvick, and I won my Bud Pole at Indianapolis, and I won the race.
Hi, I'm Terry Labonte, and I won the Budweiser Shootout in 1985.
Hi, I'm Mark Martin, winner of the 1999 Budweiser Shootout.
I'm Boris Said, and this is my first Budweiser Shootout.
Hi, I'm Elliott Sadler. I won my Budweiser poles in 2003 at Darlington and Talladega.
Hi, I'm Bill Elliott. I won the Bud Shootout in 1987. I plan on winning it in 2004.
Hi, I'm Rusty Wallace, winner of the 1998 Budweiser Shootout.
Hi, I'm Bobby Labonte, and I got here because I won 4 Bud Poles in 2003.
Hi, I'm Mike Skinner. This will be my 5th Bud Shootout, and I got my pole last year at Richmond.
Hi, I'm Ken Schrader, 2-time Bud Shootout winner.
I'm Dale Jarrett, 2-time winner of the Bud Shootout.
Hi, I'm Ryan Newman, and I won 11 Bud Poles last year. And I'm ready to win the Budweiser Shootout.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. This is my 2nd Budweiser Shootout appearance, and I won the poles last year at Pocono and Kansas City.
Hi, I'm Tony Stewart, 2-time winner of the Budweiser Shootout.
Hi, I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. I'm the defending champion of the Budweiser Shootout.
Pretty neat looking field, isn't it? Got Jeff Gordon up front with Jeremy Mayfield. You got Kevin Harvick in the middle. Way in the back, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Everyone is concerned, can they keep the 8 car behind them? He is fast again this year.
And that's not way too far in the back, really, for this place. I bet you those cars in the back, there's a couple of them that are pretty quick. They're going to get to the front.
While the 19 drivers are heading out onto the racetrack to begin their parade and pace laps, remind you that the format for tonight's race is a 20-lap segment followed by a 10-minute break, then a 50-lap segment, in which they'll have to make somewhere a pit stop to have fuel to go to the finish.
BP, I think in those first 20 laps, you're going to see a lot of courtesy, a lot of drivers driving like gentlemen, but it's not going to be like that in the second segment.
The last 20 laps, forget it.
This parade and pace laps take a little bit here at Daytona, so we're going to squeeze another commercial break in here so we can show you that entire first 20-lap segment uninterrupted here on TNT. The 26th running of the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona set to go. The King of Beers putting up big money for the Kings of Speed to get this season started. Before the green flag, let's check some final stories from pit road. Matt Yoakum, you're first.
Well, Bobby Labonte will attempt to give car owner Joe Gibbs his 3rd Bud Shootout winning trophy in the last 4 races, but team manager Jimmy Makar says tonight 75% of tonight's race is about learning for next weekend's Daytona 500. 25% going for the big money. I'm sure that agenda will change if he's up at the front near the end. Bobby Labonte's never won the Bud Shootout. Maybe tonight's the night. To Marty Snyder.
Matt Roush Racing has 5 NEXTEL Cup teams, but only one in this race. Mark Martin, who is driving a brand new car that crew chief Pat Trison wanted to bring for the Daytona 500, but it wasn't ready in time for January preseason testing. They put it in the Bud Shootout, and Mark just described the car to me as very powerful with a great engine and handling just good enough to win this thing. He may not have teammates in the race tonight, but he may be good enough that he won't need them. Dave?
Marty, just before they fired engines, I spoke with Ken Schrader, asked him what was different this year than last year. No, he's won this Bud Shootout 2 times. He said, last year I didn't know what I had, and he finished 6th. This year he does know what he has, more confidence in his car, and a new 3-year sponsor in Schwann's on that vehicle. Bill?
Dave, Wally talked about it a little earlier. This track is 2.5 miles long. These pit stalls are about 29 feet long and 16 feet wide. What happens in the pit stall could determine who crosses that finish line first. Drivers will be worried about their brakes when they come to pit road. Teams will be worried about their tires. Crew chiefs will be worried about their crews. Why? Because just about every crew along pit road has some kind of new personnel going over the wall. And this is their first test. Alan?
Yeah, hate to be the guy in your first test that makes the mistake that cost you the race.
And it's very chilly tonight, so again, throw that in the mix as well.
Let's talk about first night out for a driver. He's had some practice between Friday and today. Does he have jitters right now behind the wheel before he starts?
I don't think he does, only because these guys have been in race cars all winter long. It's not like they've really just laid back for 2 or 3 months, and now this is really the first time back in the car. I think they're ready to go. They're excited that it's getting started again, but I don't think there's any jitters.
See the guys weaving the car back and forth, trying to get those tires, a little bit of flex in them, so when they go down in turn 1, it'll be just like they have practiced.
Just update you on a couple of rules for the evening to remember. On an initial start of a NASCAR race, the drivers come across the start-finish line double file, and the second place guy at the outside row can't beat the inside pole guy to the line, and you can't pass before you cross the stripe. Well, it's going to be that way on all the starts tonight. All the restarts will be double file, but that guy on the outside can't beat the guy on the inside of the line, and you can't pass until you cross the start-finish line. That's different from a normal race.
Sometimes you may forget that when the rules change like that.
And you say, why doesn't Dale Earnhardt Jr. just lay back and give him a good start and pass about 10 of these guys coming down to the line? Because you can't. You got to cross the start-finish line in the position you start in.
And one other thing, that yellow line on the inside of the racetrack, remember at Daytona as well as at Talladega, that's out of bounds. You can't go below that line and advance your position. If you do, you're penalized. 20 laps is the first segment of the Budweiser Shootout. If we're caution-free, we're commercial-free. You'll see it all here on TNT. The Corvette pace car is off, and the first green flag of 2004 is about to wave.
Grabbing gears here, BP. It takes about a lap or so to get completely up to speed. Probably a lot of these guys are grabbing high gear right about here.
That's Bill Elliott that shuffled wide in that red car for Ray Evernham.
Almost in contact as these cars came off the second corner.
Mayfield and Jeff Gordon up front.
We've got to figure out which line is best tonight. The inside, outside. So far, it's pretty even.
You just don't want to be in a line by yourself.
It's like Bill Elliott up there by himself.
You go backwards in a hurry.
Jeff Gordon leading lap 1 by about a fender. But here comes Mayfield back on the inside. Bobby Labonte out 3 wide now, farther back.
Or said they're in the middle.
Black car, the U.S. Army machine.
And he's saying to himself, now, what did I do wrong to get in this position?
Not where he wants
and your answer would be, he wasn't looking in the mirror. Got to be careful, especially when you get into these corners here. Guys will go up high, and they'll put you in the middle.
Look at Bobby Labonte's car darting around the green car in the middle.
And that's exactly what Schrader just did to Bobby Labonte.
And it's still Jeremy Mayfield will lead this lap.
Out from third.
Squeezing it in there.
Wow. Now he's putting Jeremy Mayfield in 19 car where he doesn't want to be in the middle with no draft and help in front of him.
When you're in the middle like that, normally your car is very loose. The car wants to get sideways, so boy, you don't want to get too close to the car on the outside, especially when you're in the corners, when you're in the middle.
6 is Mark Martin, who will get paid for this race. 19 is Mayfield. 23 up top is Dave Blaney. That's Bill Davis Racing. Dodge machine here.
And that 23 car looked a little squirrely up there going in 3 on that high side.
And 3 deep for 4th spot on back.
it's tight.
Here comes Junior. Junior and Tony Stewart following Jimmy Johnson up through the middle.
And Jimmy Johnson is about in the spot that you were in when you talked about in the draft in the pre-race piece, Wally.
That's right. You got to be really paying attention to all around you right now. The 8 car is strong enough that may help the 48 car. Up now, Jimmy Johnson got down on the low line, so he's not in the middle any longer.
Junior's taking that Budweiser car up to the 12th position. Bill?
Benny, I know you talked to these guys in the garage leading up to this race, very confident in this car, this brand new car that Earnhardt Jr. is driving, just a tick slower than the car they have entered in the Daytona 500. They knew their car was good. They know their driver's good. Their chances are great. Dave?
Bill, the guys in the booth have been talking about using your mirror. For Jeff Gordon leading right now, his spotter is also his mirror. He reminds him as he's leading what the rows are doing behind him. 2 rows of 2, then a row of 3. 1 car behind you, then a row of 3, then 2 rows of 2. He's telling Jeff every moment of his race how many cars there are and where they are behind him. Marty?
Jamie McMurray did not wait very long, Dave, to make that power move around Jeremy Mayfield earlier, going underneath him. He said that he thought Mayfield was not as good as he was, and he was going to give him 2 or 3 laps. If he wasn't out of his way, he was going to force his way to the front. That's exactly what he did.
Forced his way to second behind Jeff Gordon with Kevin Harvick third. And now that Jimmy Johnson-led freight train pulling Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart toward the front.
Now, Jamie's got to be watching this mirror, and if he thinks that Harvick is going to make a run on him, if he'll move and time it just right, Harvick will help push the 42 car by Jeff Gordon.
The spark that you see from under the 42 car, just the car bottoming out, not really a problem unless it is too hard, and then it will upset the car and bother the driver.
Our aerial coverage tonight provided by Budweiser, the king of beers. So Jeff Gordon leading, Jamie McMurray second, Kevin Harvick third. And Gordon low to block as McMurray took a quick peek under him. Marty?
Jamie McMurray and Kevin Harvick had a conversation right before they got in their cars and kind of agreed to work together. They think they're both fast for this 20-lap segment, so we'll see if the agreement holds up for the entire 20 laps.
Well, that agreement almost went out the window off the trioval because Jamie McMurray in that 42 car, he wants the lead. He was trying to look under the 24 car.
But if he pulls out and doesn't have help, he's going to lose all that and more.
Junior kind of got separated from Jimmy Johnson by Mark Martin, and his progress kind of stalled out there, huh?
And here comes the 38 car, Elliott Sadler, who is very optimistic about his chances tonight and next Sunday as well.
Tony Stewart trying to hang with Dale Jr., Bill.
That's a good way to put it, too. Try and hang. This team has struggled with this car and with their Daytona 500 car since they got here. Not very pleased with how it's performed, but optimistic that with a little help, Tony might be able to get to the front. A lot of these guys talk about the first 20 laps being a feeling out process, knowing where your car will run, how it runs in certain places, and who you can and cannot follow.
I'd say they're learning some pretty serious lessons here in this pack.
And that's right, what Bill's talking about, who you can and can't follow. There are going to be cars out there that you get behind that your car drafts really, really well with for whatever reason. So you're trying to look for somebody that is going to help pull you along and vice versa.
And there may be a car you get behind you, just your car doesn't feel right behind that car. So therefore, if it's a Dodge, you don't want to around any Dodges. And here goes Junior up on the outside of Johnson, a power move on the outside.
Heck of a run there. Got some help from Elliott Sadler, the 38 car.
Johnson shuffled back in that middle lane.
Now with Junior coming on the outside, you may see one of these guys in second or third jump out in front of Junior to try to help get a push to the front.
And Jimmy Johnson's got to be thinking, okay, I pulled you all the way up through that traffic, and you left me.
Looks like Junior might need someone in front of him to really make that Budweiser car better.
Johnson trying to follow the line there, either in front of Tony Stewart in that outside lane, or down on the inside. But it's Boris Said that's there, impeding that line as far as him moving into it.
Stewart's up there on the high side. He's got nobody behind him.
He's just getting shuffled right to the back.
Right to the back.
Something that's new here at Daytona this year, as part of the general all-around reconfiguring of the cars that's happening at some of the other tracks, Goodyear has a slightly different tire at Daytona. The sidewall flexes a little more. More importantly, it wears a little faster. People were talking that in this 20-lap sprint, they didn't think that would be a big deal, but these drivers are going to be learning a lot about how their car might handle later on in the 50-lap segment on the tires that wear more quickly. Dave?
Talking Elliott Sadler, guys, a guy who's very focused on these restrictor plate races. After last year getting the pole at Talladega and then having the flip late in the race, he was very focused on doing well here. Quit final practice for this race yesterday very early. The team very confident that the work they've done over the winter is paying off here at Daytona. Matt?
And his teammate Dale Jarrett, he's just feeling out the 88 car, just waiting to see what it will do with the new aero package and with this new tire. He says he will not push the car for the first 20-lap segment, just trying to learn, get himself in position. He's won here before, he's won this race before, he's just setting himself up for another.
And we talk about the new tires. Talking to the crews today, yesterday, they all feel like in that last 50-lap run, they've got to change 4 tires on that pit stop. Last year, Junior won this race, did not change tires in that 50-lap run, but it will not be that case tonight.
No, absolutely not. There's these tires, like Alan was talking about earlier, a lot of the drivers are talking about being slimy feeling. And with the construction of the tire, they're softer. So when you get in the corner, you load the car so much in the corners here, it's incredible. And that rear of the car starts twitching, and it feels like the car's loose. Matt, what do you got going?
Well, we talked about last year's race. Jimmy Johnson, they were planning on taking on 2 tires, but he and another car smoked all 4 tires on entry. They had to go with 4. But like a lot of crew chiefs have talked about this morning, with the way this tire is wearing, plan on 4 tire stops. So that shouldn't be a factor tonight.
I'll place a friendly wager with both of you right now that there will be at least one, if not a handful of teams.
I want a part of that.
That will try just right side tires on that last pit stop.
If it is, then it'll be the guys that are desperate, I think.
Are you in, Weber? And what side?
I'm with you, Alan. You know somebody. 2 or 3 guys are going to have to try it. They'll be in a nothing-to-lose situation.
Absolutely.
Right. Guys are going to be desperate.
Marty?
I talked to Donnie Wingo, the crew chief for Jamie McMurray. He said you need about 3 or 4 cars to do it with you, and if they'll do it with you, he would be willing to do it. I said, even if you're running in the top 5, he said, even if I'm running in the lead.
Wow. That's going to be interesting to see. That's in the second 50-lap segment when there'll be that last dash pit stop, probably under green, probably with about 15 laps to go. We're coming in on the end of the first 20-lap segment of the 2004 Budweiser Shootout, live at Daytona International Speedway on TNT. Challenge for second place, Kevin Harvick in the 29 under Jamie McMurray.
And he is getting a push from Mark Martin and also Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And here comes Jimmy Johnson, maybe to save the day for Jamie McMurray. Got cars lined up behind him.
And Mark trying to take a look on the inside of the 29 car of Harvick.
Oh, he's got a race car there, it looks like.
Oh, you're McMurray on the outside, challenging for the lead. Will that outside line work well enough to get by the leader?
Kevin Harvick with Mark Martin's drafting help. Jimmy Johnson trying to help along Jamie McMurray. Marty, how about Mark Martin?
He's just having a great race, and I talked to him before the race. I said, what's different about this car? He said, you know, not that it's handling that great. He said the horsepower difference is just unbelievable. I notice it from Talladega. We have much better engines this time around.
Oh, did you see that move by Harvick?
Little crossover.
Just a little crossover and got such a run on Jeff Gordon.
Hang on, Mark.
Wow.
Woo. Thank you, Jimmy Johnson.
That's not over just yet.
All right, McMurray's going to cross back over behind Harvick and push Jeff Gordon back out in front. Harvick picking up Jimmy Johnson's help from behind. Here comes Junior into the mix. They're going to slide McMurray out of the way. Junior and McMurray for second.
I see Jeff will run right in the middle of the racetrack. Right down on the bottom that time. Before they were stacked up behind him, he'd run right down the middle, not giving any advantage to either lane behind him.
Driver 8 coming through, Bill.
And very quiet on the radio, Alan, but you know this is a perfect situation for him. He loves these kind of places. He has a love affair with this track despite its history with his father and his family. But this is Earnhardt Jr.'s kind of situation. Running second, trying to get first back. Let's see what happens.
Elliott Sadler there in behind Earnhardt Jr. A lot of different paint schemes for Speed Weeks. And for tonight especially, that you'll take note from the end of last season. Jeff Gordon continuing to lead. He's been out in front since the third lap of the race. But behind him, it's about anything goes.
Tell you what, these cars are really moving around.
Just noticing that too, BP. Maybe, I mean.
Oh, here's Junior.
Laps.
Junior going for second spot. McMurray on the outside.
Bobby Labonte out 3 wide farther back. How about Jamie McMurray, Marty?
Having a really good race, saying nothing on the radio. He's driving car 005 for Ganassi Racing, more popularly known as Fender Puller. The one Sterling Marlin got out in the red flag in the 2002 Daytona 500, tried to pull the fender out. Sterling was watching Bud Shootout practice yesterday with Jamie, said that's my favorite car. I wonder why he hasn't, not me.
Oh, Elliott Sadler looking inside of Junior. Not enough room.
What was Jamie McMurray doing with his left hand? He took his hand off the wheel. It was like he's
just resting it there.
Just resting it on his lap or pressing his leg on the accelerator or something. Oh, look at this. Look at that move by McMurray.
What a run.
Wow. Is something wrong with Jeff? It's almost like his foot slipped off the accelerator or something.
New leader, Jamie McMurray. With 2 laps to go in this opening 20-lap segment of the Budweiser Shootout. Earnhardt Jr. now fighting Jeff Gordon for second. Dave, you got something on Gordon for us?
Got nothing on Gordon. No comment from Jeff on the radio. Nothing from up top. Nothing from down here in the pits.
I think Jamie's just got a really good run there. Got a little bit of a push from behind him, and
well, here comes Gordon back.
Fend him off now.
Harvick behind Jeff Gordon. Dale Jr. behind McMurray.
That Jeff Gordon, we've not seen anyone be able to use that outside line to take the lead. Can Jeff Gordon do it? He has some help from a fast car of Harvick.
I wonder if Gordon's car just kind of got darty there off of turn 2, and McMurray just got a...
I think he was looking for a different place to run, Alan. I think he wanted to try out some other stuff there. Just because he was out front for a long time, you got to see how your car runs.
Just wanted to get up in that outside lane and see.
Could he have moved up to try to help Harvick and his team car of the 48 get closer to the front?
Yeah, there's a thought too. Johnson's behind him in that lane. Final lap of this opening 20-lap segment of the Budweiser Shootout. McMurray and Gordon. Double wide for the race lead.
Oh, he's got his teammate behind him now, Jeff Gordon. Looks in the mirror.
After they cross the finish line, the caution flag will be waved, and that's the way they'll line up for the beginning of the final 50-lap segment of tonight's race.
And they will restart double file, not single file as we normally see in NASCAR racing.
So Jamie McMurray getting by Jeff Gordon late in this opening 20-lap segment. He will lead as they come to the caution flag and the conclusion of this opening 20-lap segment. Caution's out, field is frozen.
Good job, Jamie.
All right, now you got to give your guys the information. Here's what we got to do. Here's the adjustments we got to make. I think the car is going to be real good at this point with this move, these changes. So this guy's going to be real busy now trying to make these adjustments.
And they want to get back to the pits as quickly as they can so they can check the temperature on the tires, try the wear on the tires to find out what they need to do to these cars, along with the feedback from the drivers you talked about, Wally.
Pit road going to be closed this time. They didn't want to try and put the pace car out in front of that pack, so there'll be another lap around the racetrack before they get back to the pit lane. Jamie McMurray leads, Jeff Gordon second, Kevin Harvick third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in fifth position. The opening 20-lap segment of the 2004 Budweiser Shootout at Daytona is finished. Getting set for the 10-minute break and then the final 50-lap sprint. TNT Sports live at Daytona International Speedway, where the intermission, the break between the two segments of the Budweiser Shootout, has just begun. 10 minutes for the teams to tune on their cars. Matty?
And Kevin Harvick started 5th. His car sits quietly on pit road. In conversations with Todd Berrier's crew chief, he says the car is very good. The car is very neutral. I think we have a very, very good piece here tonight. Marty?
Jamie McMurray started 3rd, won that first segment, and Donnie Wingo, the crew chief, is going to put a little bit of tape on the grill. They're also going to add a pound to the right rear tire. He was just a little bit tight. One thing they are going to do is also torque the lug nuts instead of getting them all the way with the impact wrench. He doesn't want the lug nuts to be too tight for the next pit stop. Interesting strategy.
That's a really good point.
Hey, Marty, the 24 car of Jeff Gordon is in. They have already changed all 4 tires, filled it with fuel. Jeff complaining that the car was just a little bit tight at the end of the run. And as for that move, when he slid up to the high side and Jamie McMurray dove low, his crew chief, Robbie Loomis, told me that he thought Jeff was just trying to go to the high side to shake Junior and got caught up in trying to pull the outside line. And in that instance, Jamie McMurray dove low and took it. Bill?
Dave, they're torquing the lug nuts on the 8 Budweiser Chevy of Dale Earnhardt Jr. After the caution flag came out, a very calm but very concerned Earnhardt. He called his car out of control. I have no grip on the front or the back. He said he doesn't like the aero package. I don't like this body. Track bar, air pressure adjustments for Earnhardt.
Well, he's got a different car for the Daytona 500. Maybe it will be better for him. He told me that this morning that he felt like that the 500 car was better than this one. And okay, why would you, how do you choose the car, but you choose your best stuff for the Daytona 500?
That's right. Opening 20-lap segment of, all right, Bill, go ahead. You got some more on Junior for us?
Well, just to follow up on what Benny was talking about, the goal when they came down here to test was to make this car the faster car, but it didn't work out. The 2 cars Tony Eury Jr. told me this afternoon are very similar, so that might raise your concerns about their Daytona 500 car, but they got a little time to work on that, Benny.
Yeah, they do.
4 lead changes among 3 drivers in the opening 20 laps of the race. Jeff Gordon led the most laps, 16 of the 20, and Dave's with him now.
And yes, we are with Jeff. Jeff, 16 of the 20 laps were yours, and then on the backstretch, what happened?
Well, it just really depends on who's behind you. And, you know, it was really in Harvick's hands. He chose to go with the 42, so it kind of put me odd man out. But, you know, cars driving good. We were out front. And when they get side by side like that behind you, it's just kind of a guessing game. And you try to hold them off, but they get a run like that, it's hard to keep them back there. So hopefully we can get ourselves in that position again and do it different, or get in a position to make a run on those guys. We've got a real good car. I'm pretty happy.
It ran well in the first 20 laps, Matt.
And Jimmy Johnson, his teammate, talking to his crew chief, Chad Knaus, about the car, the little nuances. They made a small chassis adjustment. The car, though, very good. They felt like this car was very strong in both practice sessions yesterday. He could go from the back to the front when he needed to. Marty?
Jamie McMurray, via a couple of bold moves, won the first segment. And tell me about that initial move, Jamie, to take the lead. That was pretty brave on your part.
Yeah, the 29 gave me a big push. I talked to him just right there before the race, and he said he would work with me. So our car is really good, though. I mean, I'm pretty excited. We struggled at tracks like this, and to run that well, that's pretty cool.
Do you want to work with the 29 in the second segment, and do deals really hold up in that last 70 laps?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care who I work with. I mean, you just have to get with somebody and hope they'll help you, or you know, try to help somebody, whatever you think will help you the most. But it's going to be a lot different, I think, in the next 50, because the tires really fall off about lap 18, and you know, we're going to have to run at least, I think they're going to try to run about 25 laps before we pit.
The last 50, we should say. And remember, crew chief Donnie Wingo told us that he would maybe take 2 tires even if he was leading, and now he's not so sure. Bill?
Down here on pit road, outside of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car, I'm listening to him. He is talking back and forth with Tony Eury Jr. on the radio, discussing the air pressure in the tires and the tire wear. We'll lean in here for just a second. You weren't too pleased with the handling of your car there, Dale.
Well, it's like real good till we got up toward the front, and then I either got real loose or just lost air on the car. And a couple of them cats is really running pretty aggressive, you know, and we're drafting on the side of the car real hard, and I'd lose a lot of aero downforce on my car when that would happen. And you know, we're going to lose a little bit of spring rate in the right front. This next set, it'd be a little looser, so we got to adjust the car just a little bit. I'm fast enough, but I think I wanted to be in that outside line there at the end, and I think that's where it's going to be at the end of the race. And win the race, the guy's going to be on the outside line there.
We'll be watching for that. Matt?
20 laps in the book. Jimmy Johnson, the 50-lap chess match remains. How is your race car? Is it where you need it to be?
Yeah, the car's really good. And I'm surprised the cars aren't moving around as much as they were in practice. The sun's down, it's a lot cooler, and I really think it's helping the handling of the cars, but I expected it to be a little bit more of a handful in the pack. But the car's driving great. You know, we came from 17th to the front, slipped back through the middle, and then worked our way back up. So having a blast. This Lowe's Monte Carlo's running great, and hopefully we can take home some money tonight.
Small chassis adjustment, small tape on the front. They're ready to go, Dave Burns.
And Matt Borland and Ryan Newman still discussing what they're going to do in the second half of this race. And very intently right now. They changed 4 tires on this car, a little tight, but no chassis adjustments for Ryan. And he sat here by himself for a couple minutes, and then Matt came in with what I think are some really good ideas. Guys?
All right, you guys have been listening to all this, drivers, crews, opinions, so on.
Well, I want to go back to what Dale Jr. was saying when he said they're drafting pretty hard on the side of the car. It sounds like the way these tires are, VP, that if you have a car on your right side and you get up and the tires start to go off, that air off your spoiler, because you have a car close to you on the right side, is even a bigger factor now than it used to be.
Looks that way. It looks that way.
10-minute break in the middle of the Budweiser Shootout is closing down. We'll have the restart coming up in just a few moments. Here's tonight's Ciala's key moment so far, the late stages of that opening 20-lap segment. Lead change.
Going in turn 3, McMurray, the 42, gets such a push from the 29 car. He said, man, what a push. That guy that just blew him by Jeff Gordon in the 24 car.
So after Jeff Gordon led 16 of the 20 laps in that opening segment, McMurray led the final 3 and will be out in front to pace this field at the restart for the final 50-lap segment.
Is this fun or what?
This is good stuff.
This
right
is
now.
really, really good stuff.
Throw in the tire wear, the added distance in this last 50 laps, the green flag pit stop that's likely to decide the thing. You got a lot of great action still to come.
Man.
All right, the 19 drivers rolling their cars back out onto the racetrack. Take a break, come back and get you ready for the restart of the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona. The Daytona 500, the Great American Race, kicks off next Sunday with a very special pre-race ceremony, the NEXTEL Tribute to America. Grammy Award winners Lee Greenwood and Leanne Rimes join a cast of thousands to celebrate America and the Great American Race. It's the NEXTEL Tribute to America next Sunday during coverage of the Daytona 500 on NBC.
Me, you, Wally, and President Bush.
Yes, sir.
How about that?
President's going to be here for the 500 next week. That should make an already exciting day even more special. 2 laps of pace car action before the green. Let's take a break, come back for the restart of the Budweiser Shootout. The Budweiser Shootout from Daytona International Speedway on TNT is brought to you by Budweiser. It's time for a fresh one. Grab a Budweiser. The race is on. And the cars are on the track a lap away from the restart for tonight's Budweiser Shootout. Featured part of deciding the winner of this race will be what will likely be a green flag pit stop with about 15 laps to go. Remember, in last year's race, they came charging to that pit entry about 5 wide.
Yeah, you remember this, BP?
I do remember this, and NASCAR said you can't do that anymore. See the cones there?
Here, watch what happened last year. All these guys come diving in the racetrack, and they're all over the place. 3, 4, 5 wide. That's a bozo no-no now.
Yeah,
what? Bozo no-no. Because
now these cars, once they get to those cones, they have to be single file entering pit road. You can't do that. If you do, you will be penalized.
Somebody's going to blow that and take themselves out of a chance to win this race.
Another thing you got to be careful of, a lot of times happen here if you're coming off the racetrack hot and you get on the brakes, it's easy to lock a tire up getting in. So Got to be careful of that.
Half a lap from the restart, Bill.
Start with Tony Stewart for you, Alan. He said the car got better as the race went along. The problem is it didn't get good. He said we talk about it when I come on to pit road. So I asked crew chief Greg Zipadelli, how's your car? He goes, not good at all. They want to try and put themselves in a better situation to help them. They made an air pressure adjustment, some other minor changes. Let's go further down pit road.
Bill Mark Martin says they have a car with great power and a great handling race car. He said the middle is, quote, very dicey, but if you're brave enough, it could play to your advantage if you have someone helping you, Dave.
Marty, the 38 car of Elliott Sadler, very good. Only a slight tape adjustment on the front. They added tape, slight chassis adjustment for a little tight condition. Crew chief Todd Parrott has been on and off the pit box talking with the guys next to him about pitting, when they're going to do it, and how to stay out of each other's way. Matt?
Kevin Harvick told me moments before he pulled off pit road his car was very comfortable. He was extremely pleased with the fact that he didn't develop a push like some other drivers had. I asked him, where is the car the best? He said, off the corner. I'm like a rocket. I said, are you better up high, in the middle, or down low? He said, Matt, my car is good everywhere. Down low, in the middle, or up high. My car is just that good. Car owner Richard Childress has 6 Bud Shootout wins. Maybe he'll get number 7 tonight, Alan.
50 laps from the checkered flag. 19 drivers rather, about to start lap 21.
And I think he can get away with running in the middle of this pack right now on pressure tires. I think once you get some laps on these tires, I don't think you're going to be good in the middle.
Good start for Jamie McMurray.
Well, we're going to try to answer all these questions in the next 50 laps. And answer a lot of these questions the teams have about their cars this year with a new tire. That's right.
What we'll see people do when they make that pit stop is you'll see anybody try fuel only, and how many people will try 2 tires.
And if you don't have a teammate, I think you need to find one right now. I think you need to start looking at guys that are going to help you for the rest of this segment, because you're going to need the help at the end.
And Elliott Sadler is hung in the middle as Labonte goes blowing by the 38 car.
Ryan Newman now up to the outside there. Bobby Labonte to 5th. Well, trying to take 5th from Junior. Except he didn't have any drafting help anymore.
That's Dave Blaney in the 23 car. He won his pole last year in the 77 car in Rockingham, but Bill Davis gave him a ride in the 23. Here he is. Currently in the 7th spot.
These guys, front 5 guys, just stay in line while these other guys behind them are side by side. They may be able to put some distance between them.
There's Jeff Gordon looking for his 2nd place, but not quite on Harvick as we follow that race for 6th. Thought Gordon had a run on Harvick there for 2nd. Harvick getting up at his 2nd spot there, ahead of Gordon, and now Jimmy Johnson is on Gordon's back bumper, Matty.
When the flagman gave the field 1 to go, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson were talking on their team's radio back and forth, talking about how Jeff was going to restart the race. He told Jimmy how he was going to do it. The 38 team jumped in and told their spotter, Chris Osborne, we know you're going to work with the 24. Tell us what you're going to do. We'll go with you no matter what. Bill?
Watch for the 8 of Earnhardt and the 18 of Bobby Labonte to try and hook up. The 8 car needs some help getting to the front. He needs somebody to push him. Those 2 cars worked together well yesterday. Tony Eury Jr. told me during the intermission they want those 2 cars to try and run together. Can't get there right now. Marty.
Jamie McMurray, Bill, exactly where he wants to be, not only in the lead, but on the bottom of the racetrack. As you see the sparks shower from underneath his car, he is good on the bottom, too tight up top. He said the one place I don't want to be is in the middle.
Wow, Jeff got out of line or shuffled out of line right there. May cost him.
Or Harvick looked like he had a run at McMurray there for the lead.
Johnson goes by. Junior trying to get by Jeff Gordon. Blaney tries to get by. Yep. And Elliott Sadler trying to work his way back to the front on the inside behind Dave Blaney.
I thought that bottom line looks strong.
It sure does. In the ARCA race held here this afternoon, the guys on the outside just could not go by. Oh, look at this.
Harvick with a huge run down the backstretch on McMurray.
All the passing looks like it's going to be done on the inside.
You know, McMurray off of turn 2 got himself a big run, and it's like he got too far out in front, and that's what caused Harvick to have that rush at him.
That 8 car is strong, Bill.
And the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to stay on the bumper of the 48. Not much conversation under green, but before they went back to racing, this was the conversation between Earnhardt Jr. and his crew.
Can you tell me the strategy you want to holler at me later about that?
The 20 and 18 want to pit with them lap 51. Take 51 and pit with them for 4 tires. All the different cars are going to stop on lap 45 for 4 tires. So we can kind of do with whichever one we want to do here. Like whichever group we're with, which one is running good with us, that's the one we'll probably choose to go with.
Lap 45 is halfway in this 50-lap segment. Look for some guys to stop a little bit later so they have fresher tires at the finish. Earnhardt Jr. also told his crew the winner of this race is going to come from the high groove. But it hasn't looked like that so far in this segment.
Boy, it sure has. It looks like the inside groove is definitely the place to be.
And just so we don't confuse you on the math, most of the teams, when using their pit stop reference numbers, are going to include that first 20-lap segment. So lap 45 will include the 20 from the first segment and 25 from this segment.
Well, that's what you see on top of our screen there. This is lap 26 of 7. They'll be stopping, as I said, at 45 or 51, somewhere around lap 50.
Yeah, Junior's car gets into the corner very well. I mean, that's where he looks like he makes up so much ground on these guys, diving into the corner.
All right, here we go.
Johnson for second place. Dave Blaney pushing up behind Junior. McMurray's going to get caught in the middle.
And he is in no man's land right now.
Better be careful or he'll be facing backwards too.
Yeah, this is where I think you just don't want to be in the middle from this point on. It doesn't seem like the way the tires are reacting right now. A lot of movement in some of these cars.
Junior in behind Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson to the outside with Jeff Gordon behind him. Harvick looked like he's trying to play both lines and keep either one from getting a good run at him.
There again, like I said earlier, what Jeff Gordon was doing, when you run right in the center, you really don't help either the low line or the high line.
Oh, look at this. Is Johnson going to be able to make a pass on the outside? I don't think so, because Harvick now has Junior right on his back bumper.
Well, Junior's maybe playing the middle there too.
Johnson is going to do it, I think, isn't he? Is he? Almost.
Well, that 8 car is just fast right now.
Kevin Harvick into this race is the Bud Pole winner from the Brickyard 400, a race he went on to win last August at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Blaney down to the inside.
Blaney on the inside of the 8 car. How about that, Matt?
And a great job there. The 48 now has his drafting buddy back with him. Radio conversation between Chad and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy was saying, you know, some guys may take on 2. Chad said, on our last stop, I want to do 4. Somewhere around that lap 45 to 47 mark. Harvick, they can go to lap 51.
Now they're chasing Dave Blaney now.
How about that Blaney to the lead? Marty.
Quite a run for these guys, BP. And remember, this team will run the Daytona 500, but after that, they have no sponsors. He started his career in NASCAR racing with Bill Davis Racing, and now he's leading the shootout back with Bill Davis Racing.
Dave Blaney, former World of Outlaws Sprint Car champion from Hartford, Ohio, out in front of the Budweiser Shootout. Kevin Harvick is second, 3 wide from third on back.
Now, just watching Dale Jr., he's in a spot he doesn't want to be. He talked about it during the break. When a car gets on his right rear, he gets loose, and he was real loose right there.
And being shuffled way back in that middle line.
He's got to get out of the center and start all over again. He needs to get back into either the high line or the low line.
Get back on the inside.
All right, let's take a break here, so we'll make sure we're back in time for those pit stops. Dave Blaney is out in front of the 2004 Budweiser Shootout at Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Mach 3 Turbo Champion, the official razor of the Gillette Young Guns. Once you enter the Gillette Young Guns Challenge, each week a lucky fan will win $5,000. See Sunday's paper for details. How are the Gillette Young Guns faring in tonight's Budweiser Shootout? Well, it's kind of hard to say right now because they're going to the front, going to the back, coming back to the front.
Believe it or not, Elliott Sadler, wasn't he leading the last lap?
He was leading the last lap, but right now, Terry Labonte, Texas Terry in front.
The field very tightly bunched together. The lead kind of accordioning. Dave Blaney was leading, got passed by Elliott Sadler, who got passed by Terry Labonte. Then Blaney starting to come back to the front, and Sadler's been shuffled all the way back to 18th from the lead.
I think you get in the center right now. It looks like these guys just get out of the throttle because you can't run in the center.
How about Texas Terry, Marty?
I'm glad you're keeping up with all that stuff, Alan. Terry was a little bit tight in the first segment. They went up half around on the track bar. That's all they did. He has said nothing about the car in this segment. Jim Long just told me. I think that's good for us. Well, the fact that he said nothing.
He's leading. Second place is that driver 8 on the outside.
And that's where he's, sorry, Alan.
That's all right, it is. Here he comes.
That's where he said he wanted to be. Tony Eury Jr. told me before they went back to green, they've had the wrong rear bar in the car. It's too small. He said any success in this car tonight, it's all driver because they didn't give him the right setup.
Wow.
Rear bar, huh?
Rear bar at Daytona.
Boy.
And that is a surprise for you.
That's a surprise for me.
How about Elliott Sadler, Dave, from the lead back to 18th, 19th?
Yeah, really tough for him. He radioed in. He said it got so loose, I just had to get out of it. So he said, I'll try to work my way back up.
Got around all those cars in the center. He just lost the downforce on the car, and it was all over, just like on ice.
And you're better off just like Junior did. Get out of it, get back in line, take another run at it.
And like Elliott did, there he is. He's working his way back. He's up to 16th now, picked up a couple of spots. Here's his teammate, Dale Jarrett there, the 88 car to work with.
Okay, here's the plan. We're going to take our final commercial break of the race now. Come back for the green flag pit stops and take you nonstop all the way through the checkered flag. Terry Labonte leads the 2004 Budweiser Shootout at Daytona, but all 19 starters are right there in the thick of it for the win. The 26th running of the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona, live from Daytona Beach, Florida on TNT. 39 of 70 laps, now 40 of 70 are complete. Coming up on the dramatic final pit stops, and then the all-out sprint for the checkers, and the $210,000 winners payoff. TNT, your home for tonight's All-Star Race and Racing and the NBA All-Star Weekend from Los Angeles. Friday night, the Rookie Challenge, then All-Star Saturday night, and on Sunday night, it's the NBA All-Star Game, all next weekend on TNT.
Okay, now, Benny, it's got to be some communication between these teams and crews now on when everybody's going to come in, because you want to come in together.
That's right. When you go back on the racetrack, you just simply cannot leave pit road by yourself, because you're going to be doomed if you do.
Close call a second ago on the backstretch between Dale Jr. and Jamie McMurray. Watch this.
McMurray in the 42, Jr. in the white and red 8. That was close. But there's been many close situations tonight.
Yeah, they leaned on each other, didn't they?
They did.
At 190 some miles an hour. Terry Labonte leads. Jeff Gordon is second. Kevin Harvick third. Bobby Labonte fourth. Jimmy Johnson fifth. And Jamie McMurray sixth. 7 different leaders in this Budweiser Shootout so far, and we've only run 42 laps. First event, of course, of the NASCAR NEXTEL Cup Series era. Then a great start to Speed Weeks 2004. So what do you think, Marty? When are we going to see Terry Labonte come to pit road?
Well, the plan was originally lap 45 for the 5 and 24 to come down pit road. Jim Long is just smiling at me now, will not tell me exactly when they're going to come down pit road, but they're still looking around lap 45. It'll be a 4-tire stop. 22 years ago tonight, Terry Labonte made his first Bud Shootout start. He started first, finished second that night, Dave.
Marty, Jeff Gordon's car, his teammate has gone just a little bit loose right now, and the temperatures on the car have gone up considerably because he's been running in the pack and because they added some tape to the front of that car. Matt?
Jimmy Johnson has climbed all the way back from 15th to 5th. A crew member from the 5 came down. He was discussing with Chad Knaus exactly what what lap they're going to pit. So there's no confusion. They said they will come by and take a certain lap number and come in the very next time. Expect them in about 4 laps, Bill.
They're just telling Dale Earnhardt Jr. they're going to take lap 49 on the track, come in on 50. Jr., after that incident on the backstretch, said we're no good up here. He didn't mean at the front of the field, he meant in the high groove. And Benny and Wally, that bar I was talking about in the car was the front bar, not the rear bar. I stand corrected. Thanks. That makes a little more sense.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Because I figured I'd missed something down there yesterday if they're putting rear bars in these cars here at Daytona.
So here they come to complete lap 44 and begin lap 45. So not this time, but next time by, we may see the beginning of some of these green flag pit stops. Marty?
They're working on the strategy on the radio right now. 7 laps from now, 4 tires for the Hendrick teams.
So on lap 52, they plan on coming in. Wow. So who is going to pit with Junior, you think, on lap 50? Because these cars are about a second and a half faster running together than they are by themselves. If Junior were to come in and end up on the racetrack by himself for a lap, he's going to lose a second and a half.
You're right, BP, and which means he'll lose the draft.
That's right.
He's not coming in by himself.
I think I'd be waiting to come in with somebody in front of him, just to be sure.
Right now he's behind Jimmy Johnson. Racing for third with Kevin Harvick is Johnson. Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon are out in front, single file, and the rest of the field double wide from there on back.
There's that word I like so well.
Free.
Free.
There you go.
I tell you what, there's no way these guys are going to pit and not someone get double foul. There's no way. Someone's going to get penalized for being double foul. Marty.
Lap 50 for Jamie McMurray is when they'll come down pit road, and it will be a 4-tire stop. They chickened out.
Everybody's going to change 4 tires. Everybody.
We knew that.
We knew that.
No. Somebody's going to try to.
Well, if they do, it's gonna be the wrong move.
Matty.
Looking about lap 49 for the 18. At this point, 4 tires, Alan. He was a little tight on the low side. Earlier, he was loose up on the high side. He had to stay on the bottom. Now the car has gone to the tight side like Jimmy Johnson's.
Weber, I hope at least you're still with me on this. Somebody's going to try a 2 thing. Bill, what do you got?
Looking for the 8 to come down on 50, as we talked about, with the 20 car of Tony Stewart. So it's 8 and the 20 on lap 50.
How many tires do you think he's going to take,
4,
Bill?
4. But they're not all going to take 4. If they do, Alan lost the bet.
Oh, thanks.
Well, anybody that takes 2, like I said, will be those last 5 or 6 cars, I think, running in the pack. Won't be anybody up front.
Well, that's my point. Somebody's going to try it. They've got nothing to lose.
And these cars, except control.
Let's see what happens here. Nobody breaking off yet.
I don't see anybody waving yet down the back straightaway. No.
These cars, the fuel cell in this car, the gas tanks in these cars, about 13.5 gallons. So they can run about 35 laps before they have to stop for fuel. So they could go to 55, but they're all going to stop at about 50. Matt?
BP 1 lap ago, Chad Canals told Jimmy Johnson, keep your eye in the mirror. If you see them start to peel off to pit road, dive down with them.
Like I said, they're going to be double file, spinning out, doing something, trying to get on pit road.
Locking their brakes up, smoke's going to be flying, somebody's going to get penalized, somebody's going to get mad.
And watch for Ken Schrader to pit this time. A bad vibration. They may come early, and that'll confuse a lot of folks.
Well, he's in the back of the pack, so I don't know who it's going to confuse.
Yeah, he's falling off the pace there, Bill, and slowing down to come to pit road. So maybe Schrader thinking like they've got a tire loose or something like that in the Schwann's car. So here's Schrader on pit road by himself, which is basically going to hang him out of the draft and result in the end of any chance for a good finish. That's too bad.
Okay, let's watch down the back straightaway. See any hands waving yet, Benny?
Not yet.
Matty?
Chad Canals just told Jimmy Johnson, pit this time, the 24 is going to come with us. Expect just about everybody to come with us.
Okay, we'll watch.
Remember the commitment line at the entrance to pit road. You've got to be single file by then. Here they come.
Coming in awfully fast.
4,000.
There's some
Jimmy
smoke.
Johnson smoking them.
They all... Well, that was pretty good, BP.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm impressed. Matt.
A good entry by Jimmy Johnson, makes his way to his pit box. Look for the 4 tires right now. The inside tires are ready to go on. The chassis adjustment taking place. The car was a little tight, Marty.
The pit stop for Terry Labonte dictated by Jeff Gordon. They came on the radio, said the 24 needs to come. Can you do it? They said yes. 4 tires, no changes, Dave.
4 tires for Jeff Gordon. His car got a little bit loose going into the corner. They wanted a track bar adjustment to make Jeff's car handle better. And he's still here, trouble on the left rear.
Oh, yeah.
He cannot get the left rear back on, and now he leaves.
Forever pit stop for Jeff Gordon.
Mayfield had a great pit stop.
And Jeff is going to lose a draft of these cars. Now here comes all the rest of the cars on pit road. Every one of them. Can they get in single file? Rusty, single file.
They're working at it. Uh-oh. Well, he let him go. He slowed down and let Boris said go. Matty, go ahead.
Bobby Labonte in. The car was a little on the tight side. 4 tires stop for Bobby Labonte to Marty.
The rush onto pit road, Jamie McMurray here. His car was just a little bit tight. They make a slight air pressure adjustment. That is it. 4 tires, Dave.
Elliott Sadler's car is loose. They will make a tire pressure adjustment for that. 4 tires for Elliott Sadler. Bill?
4 tires for Dale Earnhardt Jr. New rear tire changer under the gun here. A couple of guys away. The 8's on his way. Long stop for Tony Stewart behind him.
And long stop for Rusty Wallace, who stalled his car. Rusty hasn't left the pit road yet.
Oh, man.
And he's going to lose the draft. And the only one I saw get 2 tires was Mike Skinner.
We were right, Alan. We were right.
Yeah, well, I know. That's why I wanted to make sure I pointed that out, Bill. While he was looking at me. Well,
I was looking at it. We'll see how those 2 tire stop fares out. These guys made a great stop.
Mayfield, yeah. So, field beginning to come back together after the pit stop, and it's going to take a few laps for that to happen. But here comes...
That's Jeremy, isn't
it? Jeremy Mayfield. Dave Blaney just off the pit lane. He might have gotten 2 tires also. We need to double check on that down on pit road. But Mayfield will be the leader. Blaney is second. I am hearing on just 2 tires. Followed by Ryan Newman. Then Mike Skinner on just 2 tires. And Dale Jarrett up to 5th. How about the 88 car, Matty?
Alan, you can add 1 more car to the list of drivers that took on 2 tires, an air pressure adjustment and chassis adjustment for the 88. He's a little loose in and tight off. Marty?
Indeed, it was 2 tires for Dave Blaney and Jeremy Mayfield. See, Bill and Alan, you won the bet 3 times.
How about that? But look at those 4 tires of Terry Labonte going around Jerry.
We won't be watching them for very long.
I don't know. Right now they've got, 4 of the top 6 spots. Ryan Newman in the mix on that. He got 4 tires, didn't he? Let's find out. Who's that, Dave?
He did not, Alan. He was one of the other guys that took 2. And that is one reason why he didn't pit with his teammate, Rusty Wallace. I just checked with his crew chief, Larry Carter. Larry told me they wanted to take 4 and then, unfortunately, stalled it on pit road.
Okay, so this whole group at the front, except for Terry Labonte, are all on just right side tires.
That's right.
Then the next group of cars closing quickly on these leaders. All have 4. Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson in that group, along with Bill Elliott. It's Skinner about to get shuffled out by those 3.
Mike Skinner in the 10 car, loses a spot, about to lose a spot, as you said.
And here come McMurray and Jr. and Mark Martin.
That's 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Harvick was about 4/10 of a second faster that lap than the leader, Jeremy Mayfield.
And just by way of information, Jeff Gordon, after his slow stop, is back in 14th, and Rusty Wallace is back in 19th, last, after the problems he had when he stalled his car leaving pit road.
And Jeff Gordon is 6 seconds behind the leader.
Tony Stewart shuffled out of the draft. He's back in 18th.
And Alan, that's because he also stalled his car coming out of the pits. That's where he lost the time.
And we talked about it. Those pits are it's everything. We talked about the top of the show. The pit lane was going to be the key to winning or losing this race tonight.
Right now, the 2-tire car has been the key. It's gotten Jeremy Mayfield the lead in the Ray Evernham Dodge, followed by Dave Blaney, Ryan Newman, and Terry Labonte, the first with the 4 tires running in 4th.
Wally, you called it at the beginning of the race. You said the pit stop was going to be the key for the Kellogg's team. 13.8. That was their pit stop on pit road, but will the 4 tires win out over the 2?
Marty, a very strong stop by Kevin Harvick's team. He reported in the car was just too loose on that last run. They had started the car a little bit on the loose side because it would tighten up. It was neutral at the end of that first 20-lap segment, but it was too loose this time. A wedge adjustment, hopefully that will help. He has caught that lead pass.
Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
I was just saying, that's Terry Labonte's best hope, is this other guy with the fresh tires, also in a Chevrolet, to find a way to get to him and help push him through these other guys.
Exactly what I was going to say.
1 week from tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern on NBC, the Great American Race, the 46th running of the Daytona 500. Coverage begins with Discover Card Countdown to Green. That's one of those things where you just don't need to say anything more about it. Daytona 500, 1 week from tomorrow.
No, that's all you got to say. Fantastic race. And this was 19 cars. The Daytona 500 will have 43. We double our pleasure.
And how many of them are going to try 2 tires on the last stop with 20 to go?
Not many. Marty.
Well, before the stop, Jeremy Mayfield was a little bit loose. They added a pound of left front air pressure, rather, trying to tighten up the car. Jeremy said nothing since the stop, but he's been driving this entire race with a vibration. I just asked Kenny Francis, the crew chief, think he can hold him off. He said, we can hold him off for a little while, but I'm not sure if we can hold him off all the way.
Now you see this group, the 6 lead cars. We're going to look back from them to the cavalry, because here they come.
Yeah.
The next group, all with 4 tires, almost all with 4 tires from their pit stops, have linked back together in a draft, and they're pushing their way back toward that front group. When they catch them,
goodbye.
All bets are off.
Oh, goodbye. I see what, some 47.240 Mark Martin, 47 flat. Dale Earnhardt Jr.
That's 192 miles per hour or thereabouts.
And the leaders are 47.90s. So yes, they're coming in a hurry.
Of course, Jeremy Mayfield started on the Bud pole for tonight's Budweiser Shootout. Check out our NASCAR NEXTEL Cup Series race fact. Only 3 of these Budweiser Shootouts have been won from the pole. 1989 was the last time. Mayfield trying to do it here tonight.
All right, here we go. We have been connected.
We are connected.
Very nice. Very nice.
Marty.
Well, before the herd catches, oh, there they go.
Mike Skinner, nice save.
I was going to say about Dave Blaney, before the herd catches him, he asked his spotter to relay to Ryan Newman's spotter, can you tell him, let's back up just a little bit from the 19 car and try to get a run on him. We'll pass him together.
That little,
what's that? He got some tire rub, I guess, on the 48 car.
I think he makes that more than a tire rub, isn't it?
Right rear. I think the right rear is Matt.
Jimmy Johnson came on the radio and said he was bump drafting me through the corners. His spotter, Chris Osborne, just told him it is rubbing. The fender is rubbing on the tire.
And you know, they have these clearances so close now, BP. It doesn't take much right now to, oh yeah, he's got a lot of
damage on that right rear.
And who's
and
that?
The 42 car.
42. He was involved in this. Watch this. 48 into the 10, and then the 42 just nicked the 48. See the right rear damage?
Yeah. And like I said, the clearances are so close between the body and the tires now to get these cars through the air. It doesn't take much to make them rub.
What's a great save by Jimmy Johnson off turn 4. He gets under Mike Skinner, makes contact with him. About that time, he gets hit in the right rear. Matt?
Oh, trouble. Jeremy Mayfield, the race leader. Caution flag is out. Right front on Mayfield's Dodge, all torn up. And he's going to go from the lead to out of the Budweiser Shootout.
Wow, man, he hit that hard, didn't he?
Man, what happened there? Marty, tell us.
He just came on the radio, said, I just got loose. I got loose.
Wow.
Jimmy Johnson keyed the mic and said, Chad, the tire is flat. This caution came at the best time possible. They are going to change those tires. It could be a pretty good advantage. Do you think, Wally, fresh tires at this juncture?
Oh, I would think so, especially the guys that are on 2 right now. I think I'd come back in and get those other 2.
Jeremy Mayfield has brought his car to pit road and is turning it behind the wall.
That was Dave Blaney.
Blaney got some damage when Mayfield bounced off the wall.
Yep.
And so he's going to the garage as well.
Well, that's too bad.
All right, what happened to the race leader, Jeremy Mayfield, off turn number 2?
Oh, you see, we talked about it earlier. You have somebody right on your right rear quarter panel, takes the air off the car you're driving, and hang on. Especially when you're on just 2 tires, BP.
And that's one reason we won't see many 2-tire stops in the Daytona 500, because you just can't control the thing.
You need that grip on the outside. See, watch him slide up. A little bit loose there. And he got turned into the wall. Wow, what a shot.
Yeah. He hit right at that
gate.
Right at the gate, the crossover gate there.
And look at all that debris flying around. Everybody should stop and change tires, because they might have a flat.
Why not?
Well, if they do, that works into the hands of the guys that just stopped.
Real clear all around. 2 wide behind you. The rush coming behind you. Clear all around.
There's that crossover we were talking about. Hit right at the guardrail and where the concrete comes together.
And that is a piece of Jeremy Mayfield's right front fender.
I think it's his door.
Wedged in there.
Fender door, yeah.
All right, here we got Jeff Gordon in.
And let me retract or correct something I said a second ago. Those guys that stopped right when the caution came out, they pitted while pit road was closed. So these guys have nothing to lose by coming in, getting fresh tires. Those other guys will still have to start behind him. Dave?
Jeff Gordon is in. They are going to change 4 tires again and make another track bar adjustment to Jeff's car. They're going to change all 4. Car's actually reported pretty good by Jeff, so just a slight adjustment for him. They've been chasing loose all night with this car.
And a big break for Jeff. He needed that to catch back up to the group.
Oh,
he was 6-7 seconds behind the leader.
Exactly. He was out of it.
Yep. McMurray back in a second time, top of the screen.
And Schrader was out of it as well. He's back in the race.
Bill?
Yeah, Alan, Tony Stewart is one of those cars that pitted too early, but he had no choice. Felt he ran over something after the crash, so he had to come down pit road as soon as he could. So had problems with the tire, obviously. So he's got 4 fresh ones, but we'll restart at the rear.
That's right, Bill. And if he would have stayed out there with that damage, that tire could have come apart. And if that tire came apart, even while you're under the yellow, it will tear the fenders and the hood and everything off your car.
So the guys that pitted before the pit lane was open include Jimmy Johnson, Jamie McMurray, and Tony Stewart. Mayfield and Dave Blaney have gone to the garage. Now on pit road this time, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, Bill Elliott, Elliott Sadler, Ken Schrader, and McMurray again. So Ryan Newman is the leader. Kevin Harvick is second, Mike Skinner third, Terry Labonte fourth. Now Dale Jr. is up to 5th, and the field is going to be brought down pit road and stopped so that the debris and damage to that backstretch crossover gate can be repaired before the race resumes.
So we're going to red flag this thing.
Yeah, remember these caution flag laps do count in this, so you don't want to deprive the fans of a good finish. So they're going to bring the field down pit road, stop them, and put out the red flag while they clean up all the debris around the racetrack and over at that turn 2 exit gate.
Let's take one more look and see if we can see anything we might not have seen. We see the red flag about to be displayed. Jeremy Mayfield, the 19 car, Blaney in the 23. You're right, the 23 just takes all that air off the rear spoiler. He loses that downforce on the rear, loses control. And when you do that, you've got to go up the hill, chase the car up the hill to try to save it. And when you do, there's another car there. Into him he ran. He probably could have saved it if the 23 car had not been there.
Right. But he probably wouldn't have gotten loose if the 23 hadn't been there.
We talk about loose. There you see the back end coming around. He chases it up the hill, right in the side of the 23. Now here's where he gets turned into that crossover gate in turn 2.
Now this is something that.
What was that?
I'm monitoring NASCAR race control, actually. There was something that confused me about where they stopped the cars, and they've just corrected it now.
Look at a rotor back there flying.
On board Mark Martin first.
Right
Now, under the rules for this race, if a red flag comes out, teams are allowed to work on the cars. They stop the cars short of their pit stalls. Now they're going to allow the cars to go to their pit stalls. So while they clean the track up, these guys get to work on their cars and try and tune them up for the final sprint to the finish.
Big break for the Jimmy Johnson car and a big break for the 42 car. Jamie McMurray has body damage.
All right, Matt.
Jeremy Mayfield climbed from his car. Sounds like you chased it, but couldn't catch it.
Ran out of real estate there or something, but we were loose all night. You know, our Dodge was it's fast and just loose. I couldn't run very good traffic, and just flat lost it. You know, just running hard, trying to go for it, and ran out of room. It's pretty. You know, I told him all night it was pretty free. We gambled, took 2 tires. You know, and it may have worked out, it may not have. But our Dodge dealer, JW Dodge, was fast. Just couldn't hang on to it.
That's the gamble, 2 or 4, Wally.
Yeah, it's when you're loose to begin with, too, and you only take 2, it's just going to make a driver's job a lot tougher because 2 tires doesn't normally fix a loose race car.
So the red flag is out, and as you can see, unlike a normal NASCAR NEXTEL Cup Series race, the teams are allowed to work on their machines during this red flag on pit road. Dave?
Just before, while Ryan was leading, Ryan Newman that is, they were talking about whether or not it would be good to go to the end if he didn't have to stop. And Ryan said yes, it would be, so they were pretty confident in the setup. Now when they came in, they stopped, and before they put the tires on, crew chief Matt Borland made sure that tire specialist Ray Ocean had set the tire pressures where they wanted them. He made the crew stop, he asked Ray, and then they went and put the tires on, double checking. Matt, Marty?
They had to convince Terry Labonte that they were allowed to work on the car under the red flag. He questioned his crew chief Jim Long, said, you better make sure that they are indeed allowed to work under the red flag. 4 tires for Terry Labonte. We're also going to put a little tape on the front grille because the water temperature was only 200. Bill?
And that's exactly what they're doing on the 8 car of Earnhardt Jr. He's already gotten 4 fresh tires. They're cleaning the grille, then they're going to apply more tape. So he'll have, you know, more temperature and also maybe a little bit more front downforce. Also take the tear off of the windshield and then go ahead and clean it. So Earnhardt Jr. sits here waiting with 4 fresh tires on a car that was simply too tight, he said, under green conditions.
So everybody's going to have fresh tires. There'll be a double file restart and probably about 6 laps to the finish of this thing.
It's going to be good stuff.
Don't go away.
Real good stuff.
Under the red flag in the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona after leader Jeremy Mayfield crashed with Dave Blaney racing for the top spot in the closing laps. The Budweiser Shootout on TNT, brought to you by Domino's. Get the door, it's Domino's. Budweiser, it's time for a fresh one. Grab a Budweiser, the race is on. And Levitra, new choice, here now, ask for your doctor today. Under the red flag in the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona with just 8 laps to go, and this just the beginning of the excitement that awaits. Speed Weeks 2004, all capped by the 46th Daytona 500.
Spent one of them in the hospital. The one year that we did win the championship, spent it with a broken motor. It's just tough to win. I think that's what makes it so special when you do win.
Truer words never spoken. It's just tough to win. But it's the race every driver wants to win, and it's the culmination of a busy Speed Weeks on TNT and NBC. Tomorrow, noon Eastern time, Bud Pole qualifying to set the front row for the 500, plus starting spots for Thursday's Gatorade 125s. See the field set for the Daytona 500 on TNT Live Thursday. Friday, prime time on Speed Channel. It's the opener for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series for 2004, Toyota's debut in the series. Saturday, the NASCAR Busch Series, Hershey's Kisses 300, and Sunday's Daytona 500 on NBC. Racing all week long. And it's going to be great racing, too, from here in Daytona.
And every other day, they're going to be practicing, qualifying, trying to get the car set up as well as they can for the Daytona 500.
Greg Zipadelli talking to the NEXTEL Cup Series official in his pit. You see Matt Borland there, center of the picture. Ryan Newman's crew chief. Jimmy Johnson's team trying to take advantage of the red flag to make what repairs they need to make to get that car back in the hunt.
That's going to make a big difference right there, having that body fixed a little bit better than what it was, because the way it was, he didn't have a shot.
There was a parachute out there just dragging, catching all the wind, slowing the car down.
Still working on that crossover gate over in turn number 2 where Jeremy Mayfield's car punched that seam where the gate meets the concrete wall. Of course, part of the massive preparations for running any race is having all the materials and people on hand and an efficient plan to make repairs like that to the catch fencing or the barriers, the safer barrier at the tracks where they're installed. And you can see that in a relatively short time, the Daytona International Speedway crew has made repairs, and we should be just about set back to go. Marty.
Well, Alan, as we mentioned earlier, 22 years ago today, Terry Labonte made his first ever Bud Shootout start. He started first that evening, or that afternoon, I should say, and finished second. Today, trying to win his second ever Bud Shootout, getting some advice from old boss man Rick Hendrick.
Good job, Dick. Yeah, we got a pretty good car. We just need a little bit of luck here. We might get them. All the experience you got down here, you don't need luck. You just needed a friend there a second ago, didn't you? I should have been leading right now.
And Terry will have a couple of friends behind him. The luck may already be in his favor. He will start second on the outside row because it's a double file restart. In his pits all night long, 19-year-old Brian Vickers learning a thing or two about who will and won't help you in these restrictor plate races. Bill?
Greg Zipadelli, crew chief for Tony's store. First of all, you did have to come down pit road because obviously you had some tire issues there.
Hard to believe we could be that far back and run over shrapnel, but we did. Yeah, I had a big hole in the right rear, and we had to get that off before we tore the car up. Put 4 tires on it, made a chassis change, and we pulling the wrong gear. We played with something last night, transmission and a gear, and we just figured that we wanted to try it here and see if it was a combination. It was a long shot, but if it seemed in certain situations last night, it seemed like it worked really well. As soon as we check up, we can't get caught back up. So we know what not to do next Thursday and next Sunday. It's a shame. We kind of had high hopes coming back here and trying to win another one of these things, but it's all right. Maybe we can still salvage something out of it here, and we got next week. I know our 500 car is much better than the car we got here tonight, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, we'll be watching. Good luck.
Thanks.
Dave?
Bill checking in with Robbie Loomis on the 24. Robbie, you guys around the car a lot more than I thought they needed to be. What's going on with it?
I tell you, first of all, Dave, I'd like to say hello to my sister who's recuperating back in Canada and thank the doctors who operated on her. She's getting better every day, and it's been an exciting night. The shootout's what it's about. These guys got quite a bit of work to do. The back end's they beat the back bumper off the car when we were up front there. They could hit us so hard, and we got real fortunate there. Very thankful in that wreck back there. It was a mess back there, but we got lucky. The right front's got a little damage on the valves. They got that fixed up. Got the fenders clear and good. Got 4 fresh tires, and Jeff Gordon. This is going to be exciting.
All right, Jeff restarts 10th. Bill?
And standing on the wall, Tony Uri Sr., crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. How is your car now, sir?
Well, we don't really. This car just don't want to cooperate for some reason. Yeah.
Your driver's working hard, though.
Yeah, I know. He's not too happy with this race car we gave him. At the start of the race, he was sideways more than he was straight, and he just can't keep the car on the bottom. And now we made adjustments on it, trying to keep the thing from turning sideways. And now we got it pushing off the corner. And he said if he's on the bottom, he's got to stay at the bottom. If he goes top, he's got to stay on top. And then everybody's just driving through the middle, and they push him back, and he goes to the back, and he comes back. And I don't know, for some reason this car just it won't drive. It won't finish the pass. It starts the job, and it won't finish it for some reason. So we got to figure out what that problem is. Make sure that don't happen again.
All right, we'll see what happens in the final few laps. By the way, Junior has led in every shootout he's ever been in, except this one. Marty? Like that. Matt?
Bill, sometimes bad things happen at a good time. Jimmy Johnson with the flat tire when the caution came out. Chad, how is the race car after the repair?
Unfortunately, the low Chevrolet is a little tore up on the right side right now, but we got fixed up. We've got
What's he saying?
Blah, 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 blah. We've got 4 fresh tires on there, and, the car's running really good, as you can see. We just got drilled in the back end by the 42, just drilled them. But, hey, the car's running good. We'll get them back out there, and we'll see what happens. That's one of the neat things about these special events. You can work on your cars under red. There's, it's just utter chaos, and that's kind of what they like, right?
Go back to your driver. I think he's still saying blah, 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 blah. To Dave.
And with Matt Borland now, 12 car in lead at the moment. Before he came in, Ryan said it seemed like he was ready to go with just a 2-tire change. So what have you done to it now with 4 new tires to make it better?
The 4 new tires,
yeah.
make it a lot better. That definitely helped us out. And he was getting a little loose, so we tightened it up a little bit for him. And just have to see how it goes. We're not that fast out front, so we'll just have to see if we can hold Harvick and those guys off.
They're out front now. They have been all night, Marty.
Well, Dave, crew chief Donnie Wingo is busy working on Jamie McMurray's car, so we'll talk to team manager Tony Glover, and he was in the middle of that 48 stuff. What happened out there, do you know?
I'm not sure. I guess we had some contact with somebody. I'm really not sure what happened. It's a shame. We had a really good car, but Donnie and the guys did a good job putting her race car back together. I think we'll be okay. Still got time left.
Yeah, and we can work on this thing under the red flag, which helps out. Think they can still get up there and contend?
I think so.
All right, the car looks pretty good from here. A lot of tape on it, though, Matt.
And let's talk to Michael Fatback McSwain. There you go. How is the car now, Fatback?
The car's pretty good. I mean, you know, us in the 24, we were catching that pack there. Thought it was going to be pretty interesting. But this will line us all back up to be 7, 8 to go. Definitely going to be interesting.
Did I see a minor chassis adjustment taking place when I looked down pit road?
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, we tried to put a little oil heat in it, free the car up just a little bit, so we can go get after it here and get this trophy here. We got to stop this Budweiser guy from winning the Bud Shootout all the time.
Now, if you do that, are you going to do your dance like you did in Homestead when you won?
Absolutely, because I hadn't won. Only I ever won down here was a 125. So we'll stop that Budweiser guy here.
Could be really big, Bill.
With Ryan Pemberton, crew chief for Boris said, the road racing expert making his Daytona debut in splendid fashion. And being picked on, I no doubt, over the radio now as we speak.
Yeah, I'm turning my radio off right now. I liked it better.
I'm turning mine up.
I liked it better when he was when they're 3 wide. He was in the middle screaming like a girl there at the beginning of the race.
Well, you're going to get letters.
Yeah, but he's done a great job, and he's learned an awful lot here in a short amount of time. So I have no idea. I'm taking my radio off. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him right now. So no, he's been doing a great job, and this is what we want to do for him. He did a lot of great things for us last year at Sears Point, Watkins Glen, and we're trying to repay him here with a little bit of experience.
Okay, they want him to roll back out. Ryan told me earlier, Boris's bigger problem, guys, was it was too long between shifts.
Yeah. One of the great things about, now you won't see this kind of lightheartedness next Sunday in the Daytona 500, even if there's a red flag.
Because every position is worth NEXTEL Cup points.
That's right, but and it's the Daytona 500 and the pressure's huge, but it's kind of nice to get a race where, you know, people might heckle interview subjects of our Matt Yoakum.
Blah, 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 blah.
Right, Jimmy Johnson, I do that all the time when Alan's talking, so I can relate to what you're saying. Blah, 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 blah. It never stops.
Thank you. Nice to be back with you, too. I know you've missed me. Remember, this is a double file restart, too. That's going to make things really interesting when we go back racing. Dave?
With Todd Parrott now, Alan, did you guys make any changes to Elliott on this stop?
Oh, yeah, several. It's kind of fortunate. Sometimes things work out in mysterious ways. We're back in the back. Got a rotor or something through the headlight. Had to patch the hole up and come in, got us 4 fresh tires, and 8 or 9 lap shootout here, and got some pretty decent track position. Car's really good, actually. Got him a little too free when he was out front that one time. Got a big push from behind when the 23 car got him a little loose, had to check up, and fell back in the back, and then, it's one of them crapshoots.
You pretty confident of that aero duct taping up front?
Yeah, man, them guys did a great job. Probably at least 2 or 3 tenths in that tape job there.
Oh, there you go, BP. It's worth a couple tenths, huh?
Exactly. Hey, pop rivets and tape, the greatest friend that a race car ever had.
Little all-star action NASCAR style tonight, and TNT, your home for 2004 NBA All-Star Weekend action from Los Angeles. Friday night, the Rookie Challenge. All-Star Saturday night, 1 week from tonight, and next Sunday night, the NBA All-Star Game. It's next weekend here on TNT. Well, we're back going after the red flag. Final stages of the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona. And what a dramatic setup for the finish that we've got here tonight. Everybody's got fresh tires now. The 2-tire, 4-tire thing's gone. We've got double file restart and probably about 7 laps to go to the checkers.
And at least 2 more caution flags before it's over with, don't you think?
And there was a lot of changes. Everybody changed their car for 7-lap shootout.
It's really going to be interesting. Ryan Newman out in front. He got that way by the shuffle of action in front of him with Jeremy Mayfield and Dave Blaney. Now he's had the chance to get fresh tires. We really haven't seen him be very strong yet tonight. Can he stay there?
That's right. We haven't seen that 12 car as strong as he normally is. A guy who had a great run tonight, Dave Blaney, was not able to finish the job, Matt.
Heartbreaker of a night for Dave Blaney. A great shot for the win tonight, Dave.
We did have a good car, man. Philippe and all the guys said, I knew after last night's practice we were pretty close, and if we could get a couple breaks, we'd have a shot. And man, I got to thank Whelan for helping us out, and Bill Davis for bringing this thing down here. And hope we can have something like that next Sunday. We'll be in good shape.
So Dave Blaney is out, and Jeremy Mayfield is out. Now 17 drivers to go. What will be 7 laps to the finish.
And another guy that really benefited off all of this was Skinner.
Yeah.
Skinner made a 2-tire change. Now he gets to come in, work on the car a little bit, put 4 tires in, and he's in a very good spot right now for the 6 or 7 lap shootout.
Mike Skinner in the 10 car tonight. Of course, he won a pole at Richmond last fall, subbing for Jerry Nadeau then in the 01 car, the Army machine. That teammate car here tonight with rookie driver Scott Riggs in for the NEXTEL Cup Series season. So they gave Skinner a ride for the Budweiser Shootout, for which he was eligible. Marty.
I just talked to Mike Skinner's crew chief, Doug Randolph, for this evening. I asked which lane was working better for Mike. He said, actually, the top lane works better for them. I said, who's been helping you the most tonight? He said, nobody.
Well, and he's got a car behind him that's going to want to get in front of him really, really quick. So Mike's got his hands full right now in this restart.
Well, it's been an eventful evening so far here at Daytona in the Budweiser Shootout. We take a look back through what happened. This was late in the opening 20-lap segment. Jamie McMurray with a power move by Jeff Gordon to lead the final 3 laps of that opening 20. We restarted, and Kevin Harvick, powered by McMurray, to put himself out in front. Then they started really mixing it up.
And here comes Blaney in that 23 car, that great run we talked about. There he goes to the front.
Gordon to the outside. Lap 49, the pit stops began under the green flag. Jeff Gordon with all kinds of problems with his left rear on his stop. Dropped him what appeared to be out of contention.
That was a great save by Mike Skinner really right there.
Yep. Damage to McMurray and Johnson, 2 contending cars. Then Jeremy Mayfield and Dave Blaney for the lead into the backstretch wall. Both out of the race, but it brought out the yellow, then the red flag. Allowed all the teams to work on their cars under the red and set us up now for this final 7-lap sprint to the checkered flag in the Budweiser Shootout.
This is going to be good.
Tense. All right, Bill.
We talked about it earlier. The 8 wanted the 18 to push them as they're lined up now. 8 in front of the 18. Let's see what happens. They worked together well yesterday. They have not run together yet tonight.
Fans come to their feet. Pace car comes to pit road. 7 laps to decide the Budweiser Shootout 2004 here at Daytona International Speedway.
Green flag.
Harvick's got a good start.
This outside line has not worked well all night. Will it work now? Doesn't look that way.
Oh, Harvick jumping to the outside of Newman with Terry Labonte 3 wide around him.
Yeah, it's going to get real busy here now.
Oh, man.
Terry Labonte to the front, 3 wide for second place, down to turn 3.
And Rusty Wallace trying to push his way to the front as he pushes the 29 car.
Mike Skinner not up on Ryan Newman's back bumper enough to really help him.
Terry Labonte does have a very good race car, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Harvick looks like he needs a little bit of help right here. He needs Rusty to get closer to help him push him up towards Terry Labonte. Now Rusty closes in. See if he can.
See Dale Jr. there, 4th in that inside line. He's in behind Mike Skinner with Bobby Labonte behind him. Rusty Wallace behind Kevin Harvick to the outside of Terry Labonte, trying to draw even in a bid for the lead.
And Junior drives, finally goes on the outside of Skinner, gets in the middle. Can he make it go there?
Bobby Labonte went with him.
Harvick takes the lead.
Rusty Wallace pushing Kevin Harvick to the front. Now Rusty left to race with Terry Labonte for second.
And Junior just pushing Dale Jarrett in the 88 car.
He got too impatient. He said the 10 has to go. When it didn't go, he had to change lanes, Benny.
So tense. One slip. Lead to a big wreck.
And now Harvick is going to just be watching his mirror.
trying to anticipate the pass so he can make the block. Running right in the middle there.
Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, in the middle. Seemingly no place to go, but in the side of someone else.
Wow.
Oh, look out.
More contact.
You've heard the expression, oh, look at Rusty Wallace goes into second spot, pushing by Terry Labonte.
Kevin Harvick out in front, Matt.
Harvick back to the high side, back down to the low side. His spotters just telling him, keeping him abreast of which line looks like is moving faster. That's why you see him moving around, trying to see which one he wants to go with. Right now, it's the Blue Deuce.
Yeah, you're looking in the mirror. If you see a car making a run on you, you got to move up in front of them, and that will help them push your car even faster.
Dale Jarrett with a push from Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Goes to the outside, and Rusty Wallace going for the lead.
Kevin Harvick moves up the block. Jarrett, Rusty Wallace swings low. Terry Labonte behind him. 3 laps to go.
And they are just pushing each other. But they got to back off when they get to the corner, because if you don't, you're going to spin that guy out.
Jimmy Johnson trying to come up from the back. He's on the outside of Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart.
Harvick's got to watch. He's got to keep an eye on that outside lane. He can't let Jarrett get up there.
I don't think he wants to give away that inside lane. He feels like he can be beaten if he gives that inside lane away.
He wants both lanes.
Yeah, that's right. He wants his cake and eat it too, huh?
Until somebody takes one of them from him. There it is. 2 to go. Jarrett outside. Wallace inside. Harvick trying to block them all.
Oh, that was close. Down across the front bumper, Rusty Wallace.
Junior. Can he give Dale Jarrett the push he needs to win the Budweiser Shootout yet again? Dale Jarrett, a 2-time winner of this race in 1996 and 2000. Kevin Harvick trying to win it for the first time. How about the 29, Matt?
Last year in all 4 restricted plate races, Harvick drove this race car, finished everywhere from 2nd to 9th, did not go to victory lane. He wants to give RC his 7th Bud Shootout victory. We're close.
Here they come to the white flag. And the final lap of the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona. Double wide for the race lead. Kevin Harvick to the inside. Dale Jarrett to the outside.
That time by Harvick was
just a little bit ahead of
the leader by 1/100th of a second. And Jarrett goes to the front in the 88.
Junior pushing Jarrett by. Now does Junior have enough time to make the move and make it back-to-back shootout wins?
Jarrett has got to make that car really wide right now.
He's trying.
Oh, Ryan Newman turned into the wall.
Jamie McMurray?
No caution yet.
They will race back to the line, and the caution will come out. Here they come to the line.
Dale Jarrett trying to block Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Gonna make it wide.
Junior looking low.
No way.
Not gonna happen. Budweiser Shootout winner number 3 for Dale Jarrett.
Good stuff.
All right, now tell the spotters, tell them to slow down.
Boy, after a rotten year last year, this has got to make those guys feel really good.
It really does. But, you know, in testing here in January, the Yates cars showed some speed. In practice today, they showed some speed.
A lot of new members on the 88 team. And Dale Jarrett is going to take them all to victory lane in their inaugural run of 2004, the Budweiser Shootout. Matty.
One new member is actually an old member. Who said you can never go home again, Mike? Congratulations.
Yeah, it's glad to be back. You know, that's the DJ I remember. And, you know, it kind of hurt my heart the last couple of years to see him run the way he does. As nice a guy and as good a people as they are here. You know, I'm just glad to be back. Happy for these guys. Got a lot of talent here. You know, we're looking forward to racing hard from here out.
This has to raise your expectations for next Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we made some decisions. We were planning on bringing this car for the 500 and made some changes to another car and felt like, you know, it was a little better than this car. So we'll wait to see. You know, qualifying tomorrow, we had a good run. in practice today. Elliott was good as well. So, you know, we're looking for a pole for the 500 tomorrow, and, you know, this is just great. Happy to be back.
Mike Ford was a big part of the 88 team. He left to go to Bill Elliott's, and now he's back home in victory lane.
The last 2 times Dale Jarrett won, well, the 2 times that Dale Jarrett won the Budweiser Shootout, he went on to win the Daytona 500 the following weekend. The last lap, mayhem down the backstretch. Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, center of the screen.
It looks like you see Ryan Newman up there on the left-hand side, and he just goes to turn left, and he turns over the fender of Jimmy Johnson. He loses it a little bit and turns back into Jamie McMurray, which turns him into the wall. It's a chain reaction.
Tell you what, it sure looks like that 19 car of Jeremy Mayfield, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And with such a small field for this race, the cars by the spinning cars and nobody coming in from behind, so NASCAR did not put out the caution flag and end the race right there. They let them come back around.
And you got to look at these cars, guys. People, you have to remember, these cars are literally on the edge all the time, even on the straightaway. So it's just a little bit of contact with another car cause a lot of trouble.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. tried to chase Dale Jarrett over those final couple of laps for the win, came up 1 spot short.
Chase him, he did, Alan, and the outside lane was working. Did that surprise you, Junior? And for a guy who didn't have a very good car, that was a pretty good run.
Yeah, I knew the outside's where I was going to need to be to make a run at the end. And Jared was up there, and he's a good friend of mine. Helped me before, I'm helping him, and we tried to make a run at him on the last lap. But, yeah, he had a great car. Congratulations to Mr. Jarrett. I'm pretty happy about that, but I'd like to have won it myself, but we just didn't. We didn't have an awesome car, but a great car by the Bud team, and it ran up on them and pushed people, but I couldn't get nobody to push me, so that was kind of tough all night.
Last 3 years for the Bud man in the Bud Shootout, second, first, and second. Bill?
Dale Jarrett came here with a very positive attitude, very confident in his car, and his team in his car, and it paid off for him tonight. And Dale Jarrett sits in victory lane, ready to celebrate another win in the Budweiser Shootout. The last time he won the Shootout, he started 15th in the year 2000 and raced on 1 week later to claim the Daytona 500 championship. Victory lane at Daytona. I heard you say there's no bumper left on the rear of this car.
Yeah, probably not. I got to thank my buddy Dale Jr. He probably had the fastest car, but he was knocking the devil out of the back bumper, and that's what I needed to get the push by him. And I knew that was my one chance, was to keep him behind me and try to go by the guys on the outside. But it's a really good race car, man. Mike made some great adjustments. I was afraid I'd been loose in, and that's what you don't want to be with 8 laps to go, but he adjusted on it during that red flag and made it really good. And say hi to Kelly and kids back home. This one's for you. Last 2 times we've won this thing, we've won the 500, so looking forward to next Sunday.
How wild was it out there tonight, Dale?
You know, it was pretty wild, but you know, the cars drive really good, so it's stable enough that you can do some beating and banging a little bit. That's hard to believe at 190 miles an hour, but you know, it was a lot of fun. Got to thank Ford and UPS, Coca-Cola for everything they do. You know, it's last year was a long year. Great way to get this started.
Off the disappointing season, right?
Yeah, off of, yeah, we're not even going to talk about what year that was. This is 2004, and we're ready to go.
And Dale Jarrett's back in victory lane in Daytona. Matt?
Kevin Harvick had the lead coming to the white, and you were trying to figure out which lane to go with. They were coming fast.
Yeah, I think I got hit by Rusty 4 or 5 times and then blocked and then went up and got hit by Jarrett. And, you know, the bottom had been the best all night, and the Jim Goodwin Chevrolet was good all night, and the top just came like hell on the outside there at the end, and you know, that was just super speedway racing. But this GM Goodwin Chevrolet was awesome all night. We got a lot of new sponsors: Lugs, Purdue, Reese's, Coca-Cola, Snap-on, Sylvania, Duracell, Realtree, and everybody that helps us. So good night to start off the week.
You got them all, and he finished 3rd. Dave?
Checking in with Ryan Newman. First of all, are you okay?
I'm fine, yeah. Just talked to Jimmy. You know, we were all running hard, and I went over and talked to him. I said, no matter whatever happened, I said, we're watching on TV. I said, well, we'll be friends tomorrow. I said, just we don't need that stuff to happen. But it's a good run going for the Altel Dodge, and we'll just go from there.
You started the last segment leading. Did you think you could stay out front based on what you learned throughout the night?
No, but I knew you know, being in that position, having track position, we still have a shot at running good and then having a shot at the win, which we kind of did there at the end until the last lap deal on the backstretch. We were still in the top 5. I guess that's a shot on a place like this.
All right, he'll go out tomorrow and qualify with everyone else for next week's 500. Alan?
All right, so Dale Jarrett is the winner of the Budweiser Shootout. By the way, he was running 10th at that restart with 7 laps to go and came through to get the victory. His
With
third
help
win
from
in this
Dale
race.
Earnhardt Jr.
Yep. I'll understand they are checking some video replays, NASCAR officials are, concerning the final run from turn 4 to the checkered flag and whether or not Mike Skinner went below the yellow line to advance a position. So we'll see whether these results stand or whether they're changed. That's Skinner in the white car down low.
Well, he goes by a couple of cars, and he was below the yellow line. You know, the question was, did Rusty Wallace force him down there?
Yeah.
I don't have to make that decision.
And you're happy for it?
And I'm happy for it.
All right, no decision on that yet. No doubt they'll debate that for a while. So for now, Mike Skinner with a 5th place finish in the Budweiser Shootout. What an exciting night, and it's just the beginning of Speed Weeks at Daytona. Noon Eastern time tomorrow, Bud Pole qualifying presented by Pizza Hut NBC. Thursday, the Gatorade 125s here on TNT. And next, the Mask of Zorro on the East Coast. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's Budweiser Shootout at Daytona. A terrific night of racing to get the 2004 NASCAR NEXTEL Cup Series season started, and Dale Jarrett has won this race for a 3rd time.